Hey guys, hope you're doing well. So, there are three types of Quirk in My Hero Academia: A, Emitter, B, Transformation, C, Mutant. Today I'll be talking about the strongest mutant type Quirks in My Hero Academia. And of course, this is my own personal opinion, which you might not agree with. But feel free to let me know in the comments section how you would have ranked them. Now that that's out of the way, let's begin. At the 10th spot, we have one of the Shia Hasaikai Hari Korono and his quirk Chronostasis. What he does is this: it allows him to slow down the movement of anyone if he hits them with his arrow-shaped extendable hair. However, there's a drawback, which is this: he's incapable of using his quirk while in motion, so he needs to remain motionless for his hair to extend. And also, the arrow can only extend in a straight line. If you look carefully, you will notice he has both a minute hand and an hour hand on his hair, and the duration of time for which his enemy is slowed down that depends on which hands he hits them with. At number 9, we have Ibara Shiozaki and her mutant class core called Vines. Shiozaki has vines instead of regular hair on her head. She has complete control over her vines. She can lengthen her vines at will, using them to snare foes, grab objects, or to create a shield to protect herself. Shiozaki can manipulate her vines even after they get cut off. Now going into a bit of manga spoilers, and if you don't want that, skip to this time period instead. She has three known super moves, one of which is called Crucifixion, where Shiozaki completely blinds her opponents with layers upon layers of vines. Her next super move is called Via Dolorosa, where she covers an entire area with her vines. She can use that move to trap opponents. Shiozaki's third and final super move is called Faith's Shield. She protects herself with thick layers of vines, which we saw used against Kaminari in the sports festival. The 8th spot goes to Suyu Asui. Her quirk is simply known as Frog. That basically gives her frog-like appearance and the ability to do whatever a frog can do. For starter, it gives its user extremely long and durable tongue, which can be used to grab object or an entire person from a distance. It also grants floppy enhanced legs for leaping high and long distances. Furthermore, she can also crawl like Spider-Man. In addition to that, she becomes stronger when she's underwater because of her frog-like appearance, which gives her a huge advantage in water. Now, these are the basic things a normal frog can do, but Floppy has quite a few unique and interesting abilities besides that of an ordinary frog. Floppy's stomach is capable of inflating, which allows her to secrete poisonous mucus. She can also use her stomach to store things up by swallowing the item. She can remove it whenever necessary. Floppy can produce a mucus on her arms, which can be used to paralyze a person. We saw her use that against Chimera. And finally, she can camouflage herself by shifting the color of her skin to match the surrounding area, making her invisible. As you can see, Frog is a roundabout quirk with very little weakness. As for why I put her solo on this list, it's because she lacks attack power. Don't get me wrong here, her quirk is really good, but I think it's best suited for support. At the 7th spot, we have Gran Torino with his Jet quirk. Jet gives Gran Torino the ability to expel air from the soles of his feet. This allows him to fly around a limited range as well as movement faster than the eye can follow. It's kind of similar to the engine quirk, but it's a more complex and a lot more useful. Like engine quirk, Jet also needs a type of fuel to work. Now, it works like this: the air that Gran Torino breathes is like a fuel supply that he can use to propel himself into different directions. That means the flight capability of this quirk are limited by the amount of air that he can breathe. At this point of the story, Gran Torino is quite old and his lung capacity has definitely decreased a lot because of his old age. Although at first glance it may seem like it Jet gives the user a boost to speed and agility, but Gran Torino can use this to kick harder, dodge faster, and a lot more. He's quite experienced with this quirk, and my sole reason for putting him here is because of his old age. Moving on to 6th spot, we have Tenya Ida with his engine quirk. It grants him a pair of literal engine located in his cap. Each of his engines have mufflers that can extend outwards, allowing him to move at super speed. Thanks to that, Tenya can dash through long distance in a short amount of time. This makes him suited for mission that involves reaching faraway place as fast as possible, chasing after an object, moving at high speed, or even escaping from an overwhelming threat. His main fighting style revolves around his legs. Ida has serious kicking power to a point where he can smash through concrete walls, steels, robots and such with relative ease. Just like regular engine, Ida needs fuel to use his quirk. But in Ida's case, that fuel is happened to be orange juice. Though Ida doesn't need to worry about fuel that much since orange juice is pretty easy to come by. Now going into his super move Receptor Burst and how he turned it into Receptor Turbo. This part will contain a bit of manga spoilers. Receptor Turbo is a technique that has been passed down in the Ida family for generations. By removing the mufflers from his legs, Ida is able to grow new mufflers that are capable of both bearing the burden of Receptor for longer periods of time, and allowing Ida to move even faster than before. Similar to Receptor Burst, this move allows Ida's boost to last for 10 minutes instead of just 10 seconds. He can move even faster than before and is said to surpass Gran Torino's speed by a long shot. However, he becomes so fast that he cannot control himself, but after some training, he'll definitely master his new technique. At the 5th spot, we have Gang Orca, who was one of the top 10 heroes of Japan. His mutant class quirk is called Orkiness, that basically gives him the appearance and the ability of a regular orca. But unlike a regular orca, he has no problem moving around in dry land. Orkiness grants his user enhanced strength, speed, especially underwater. But that's not the part of his quirk that makes him so dangerous. The Orkiness quirk's unrivaled ability is to project an hypersonic wave that can reach its target from a considerable distance, which can cause temporary paralysis, making the target immobile. And rendering someone immobile is really effective way to defeat an opponent without harming them. Furthermore, his hypersonic waves have destructive force behind them to a point where he can easily destroy Todoroki's eyes. However, the paralysis effect directly depends on how close the target is. The closer, the better. But that doesn't mean the paralysis effect doesn't work on a faraway enemy. It works, but for a shorter period of time. Because of his orca-like physiology, he is naturally weak in the heat, but a bottle of water is enough to cool him down.
So, what now?
Coming at in number 4, we have Hawks. He is currently number 2 hero in Japan according to the hero billboard. He is also the fastest hero to reach this spot. Now going into his quirk, it's called Fierce Wings, which gives him a pair of red wings. Naturally he can fly, but there's a bit more to his quirk than that, which is he can simultaneously manipulate his feathers with telekinesis. And what's more, each of his feathers can feel the vibration on the air, which enhances Hawk's own senses, allowing him to detect the slightest movement in the detective area. On the other hand, his feathers are incredibly strong, where each feather can lift and carry a single person with relative ease. Additionally, his feathers can reattach to him as long as they haven't been destroyed. Some of his feathers are really big to a point where he can use them like a sword. Although his quirk doesn't give him any sort of strength boost or anything, but it's a lot more versatile than other quirks in the series. As for why I put him in front of Gang Orca, the reason being, Gang Orca mostly depends on his hypersonic wave to defeat his opponent, but the waves are a bit slow and can be easily dodged by someone like Hawks, who specializes in speed and versatility. The bronze medal goes to Miriko, who is currently 5th ranked hero in Japan. She is also the highest ranked female hero in this series. As for her quirk, it's called Rabbit, which gives her the appearance and the physiology of a regular rabbit. Appearance wise, she has functional rabbit ears, really strong legs, and a fluffy tail. This quirk has a lot of perks with no known weakness. Rabbit gives her enhanced senses of hearing and smelling, as she was able to accurately pinpoint the location of a fight from pretty far away. Rabbit grants Miriko immense leg strength, through that she can attack anyone by stomping or kicking. One single ground stomp is capable of generating strong enough wind pressure to disperse even a fire. In addition to that, she can negate any impact forced at her if her leg comes in contact with, meaning she doesn't have to worry about falling from any sort of height, because her leg will absorb the impact. She also has what can be best described as spider senses. She possesses a rabbit's survival instinct, which alerts her of any nearby danger. Does that ring any bell? Yeah, I thought so. She is also very athletic, and it's very clear that she had to train really hard to get to this point. Just look at how buffed she is. I really don't think I need to defend myself for putting her so high on this list. If you check out My Hero Academia chapter 262, then you'll get what I mean. At the second spot, we have Super Regeneration. There's nothing much to say about this quirk. We actually don't have any evidence to how good this quirk alone is. We only have seen this quirk used in conjunction with other type of quirk by different Nomus. This quirk alone makes the Nomus very difficult to beat. It seems only high-end Nomus possess a super regeneration. As for the quirk, it has the ability to regenerate any sort of injuries on the user's body, such as missing arms, legs, or the entire body. We saw Hood regenerate his whole body when only his head remained within a matter of seconds. As for the weakness of this quirk, it seems that if you can completely destroy their brain, they will indeed die. Now, the number 1 quirk in this list is Chimera, which is possessed by Chojuro-kon. Chimera gives Chojuro a body of multiple creatures all put together, like a wolf-head, bird-like limbs, and a reptilian tail. This quirk is actually inspired from a mythical creature called Chimera. Now onto his quirk. This quirk grants Chojuro incredible physical strength, where he can create wind pressure with a punch such as All Might. He was able to disperse Shoto's fire with a slight hand gesture. The durability given by this quirk is no joke. In addition to that, he can also breathe fire from his mouth. But that's not the full extent of his quirk. He can further enhance his physical body through monstrous proportion, which gives tremendous boost to his overall strength and durability. Furthermore, in this state, his fire breath turns into hyper beams, which he used to burn down an entire forest within a mere moments. He also used this beam to overpower Kirishima's unbreakable sword. All in all, it's a really powerful quirk with no visible weakness, and that's why it's my top pick. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, a sub to the channel would be massively appreciated. Well, that's it for today, and I'll catch you in the next one.